Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Garland here, bringing you a new Neverwinter video. And as the title suggests, I kid you not, Unbind Tokens. Now this news just released. Today is October 13th of 2021. Unbinding tokens, folks. Now this is something that we have been asking for a very long time. Years we've been asking for unbinding tokens. Because for whatever reason, the company continues to produce new items in the game that are either bound to character or bound to account. Now we've also been asking to just do away with bound to character. That way, as long as things are bound to account, you can move them around to whatever character you so choose. So over the past 2 years, give or take, they have slowly been phasing out bind to character items. It's been more bound to account than bind to character. Now here we are, 2021, almost into 2022. We have a couple more months left of the year, and we're going to have a discussion about this because unbinding tokens are now coming into the game. We don't know officially when this is going to release. However, I am going to read this word for word for you. It is on your screen. We will be introducing a new item in the near future called Unbind Tokens. Much like the name suggests, they will be used to unbind items. Any item that can be unbound will have a cost of unbind tokens. So it's not going to be a 1-for-1 ratio. You're simply not just going to have to use 1 token per item. There is going to be a set number that you're going to have to use, like an example of like 10 tokens to unbind said item. This will be different from item to item as the value of item varies. We are also rolling this out in a way where items have to be set up to be able to be unbound. It isn't all items in the game. So there's going to be a specific list that you're going to be able to use, and more items will then be filtered in. We will add items to the unbind list over time, and so in preparation of this feature, we wanted to hear from you on which items you'd like to see sooner rather than later. Because, they're going to have to manually go into the item database, do some coding, so now this new item, aka the unbind tokens, are going to be able to work, and then you're going to be able to unbind items. It's going to be a very long and tedious process, most likely, but here we are. Suggestions aren't guaranteed to be added to the list, and some suggestions that are taken may not show up for a little while. Again, this is just to reiterate what I just said of they're going to have to manually go into the item database, recode all of these items, so now this new item, the Unbind token, is going to be able to interact and work. Equipped mounts and companions don't work with this system. So, therefore, we all know that once you equip a mount, there's no way of getting it back, right? It's in a new inventory system of your mount stable. These unbind tokens aren't going to be able to go in there, and you're not going to be able to take those mounts out of your stable. And the same thing with companions. Apparently, it's not going to work on companions. This isn't a matter of unbinding, but it's that a companion and mount isn't actually one item, right? Because you're adding it to your stable and your companion, whatever you want to call it. So, yeah, they're just talking about the special inventory. Is it made to pull things back out and move them around, etc.? Basically what I just explained. I wanted to call that out in advance since this has been a request in the past. So, people have wanted to be able to move mounts around. It's never going to happen, guys. Once the mount's in your stable, I doubt you're ever going to be able to take it out. So here's like an example of this. The current planned rollout is that 10 unbind tokens are going to cost 100 Zen. An example is going to be a coalescent ward is going to cost 80 tokens. So if you have a character bound or an account bound coalescent ward, it's going to take you 80 unbind tokens to unbind that coalescent ward. That's 800 Zen, aka $8. Now, we all know the price tag on a Coalescent Ward is 1,000 Zen. It's $10. So, essentially, you're saving yourself $2. Now, of course, that's a Zen item. My question is what about gear? Where are we sitting in this system? My example is Vault of Stars. Namely, hardcore Vault of Stars. The Ring of Air, the Ring of Darkness. They're legendary rings. Are those going to be able to become unbound at some point? Are people going to be able to sell that stuff? Same thing going all the way back to Mod 19. The Tier 3 chestplate is still a very sought after item. It's still best in slot right now. Are we going to be able to unbind that? And since it's an epic item, how much is it going to cost? And stuff like that. I'm not necessarily concerned personally with Zen Market items. I don't care about unbinding Coalescent Wards or anything that comes out of the Zen Market, right? I don't care personally about saving $2, okay? We all know that you can farm Coalescent Wards by having, just X amount of characters on your count and doing your invocation cycle, and then when 2 times refinement comes around, opening up your bags, getting your Coalescent Wards, getting your double enchantment, stuff like that. We know the methods of doing that, and they're all account bound. No one in their right mind is going to spend 800 Zen to unbind those Co-Wards. It just doesn't make logical sense. The player base cares about the actual items in the game, namely artifacts, for example. My biggest complaint in Neverwinter throughout all this time has been bound to character items. I need them to get that system out of play. There should be nothing bound to character in the current iteration of Neverwinter in 2021, nevertheless. The game has been out 8 years, coming upon 9 years very soon, about several months away. We're about 5 months away from the 9th year anniversary of Neverwinter. Bound to character items are abysmal, and they shouldn't exist. Everything should be bound to account. That way it gives the player base the opportunity to play multiple classes without having to level everything up. Moving gear around will be easier. Now, this system really isn't in play or being put into play for an individual player just to move items around on their account. This system's going to come into play, and it's going to fluctuate the market, because veteran players like myself that are sitting on just astronomical amounts of gear that we simply don't need, and now we have the option to maybe eventually unbind that and then sell it to other players. That's what this system's going to be about. So the market is going to be fluctuating very heavily when this system goes into play, especially if we're going to be able to unbind artifacts, because keep in mind, those artifacts are going to be already leveled. So now you're going to be able, I'm assuming, to buy mythic artifacts from other players. We don't have all the information yet. I'm just having a discussion with you guys, and feel free to chime in the comments below and tell me how you feel about this. But there's not going to be any reason to ever buy anything other than a mythic artifact at this point. Who's going to buy a green artifact or a blue artifact and level it all the way up to mythic when chances are there's going to be people selling that artifact at mythic level already? So I don't really know how this system's going to come into play. Like I said, it's not for the individual player to, let's say, unbind items on one character and then just rebind them to another character. That would just be silly. Why would you waste all of that Zen and or real life money if you're not sitting on Zen and you have to actually buy Zen with real life currency? You're not going to spend hundreds of dollars just to unbind items off. Let's say your character is a warlock and you want to start playing a wizard. You're not going to unbind everything on your warlock just to rebind it on your new character. That makes no sense. You'll simply buy it from other players. So this system's going to be coming into play basically for the market. And I'm okay with that, to be honest. I mean, like I said, I, as a veteran player and, been playing this game for a very long time, I have just an astronomical amount of bound gear that I keep, right? You can call me a pack rat if you want. A lot of you that have been to the live stream have seen certain inventories that I've shown. I probably have like 200 to 250 legendary rings just sitting around. Now, most of those legendary rings are obsolete, but some of them aren't. What about the legendary rings that drop in Vault of Stars normal mode? Are we going to be able now to just spend Zen, unbind them, and sell them to other players? So, yeah, this is a great system, in my opinion, to kind of fluctuate the market. Now, at the same time, this shows cryptic cards again, because for years and years and years they simply said no, we're not doing this. This was a great idea. I mean, this goes all the way back to Mod 16, guys, when Thomas Foss was running the show, and Mr. T. Foss is just like, nah, this isn't going to happen. Would like to have this system in play, but it's probably never going to happen. Well, here we are several years later, and now it is happening. Why is it happening? Cryptic Studios needs revenue. They need money. They have shown their cards in the past several months about them pushing their agenda in the Zen market, that they need to increase their revenue. So now, here we are. Unbind tokens will be in the Zen market, and people are going to buy them. They are going to buy them. Whether you're already sitting on Zen, whether you have to swipe your credit card and purchase Zen, people are going to take advantage of this system, and they are going to use this system. This should be a significant boost in revenue for the company, and which they, apparently need. They, like I said, they've shown their cards in the past couple months. They are definitely struggling as a company, and this is a way to not only please the player base to a degree, but you have to look at the main picture. Is the company needs money. Simple as that. So that's all I got for you today. I'll keep you posted when this system comes into play. I'll talk to you guys real soon. Be sure to leave me your questions, comments, and concerns below. Let's have a good discussion about this. This is going to be a very hot topic over the next several weeks and when it goes into play. And that's all I got for you guys. I'll see you guys real soon.